Well, I hope everybody's morning's doing pretty all right. Now, mine is, I dropped in the comments, if you look up the House Judiciary Committee contact information, no matter what side you sit on one case, I'm going to sit right here and tell you I'm willing to go in front of an investigation committee to prove to one director Christopher Wray, the director of the FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. How about a Special Agent Herbert Stapleton, the acting director of the Indinapolis field office? This video goes out to the House Judiciary Committee. Some of you I've already been in contact with. Others, you will hear from we the people demanding the truth be shown. How many children's lives, how many suspects that is known by the FBI, Indianapolis field office, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, Field Service Agent Michael Curtis. This agent's lies, disregard, and negligence, up to having a federal informant turned federal witness just days after becoming a living federal victim, that while being an active FBI informant turned federal witness, allowed to become a federal victim by suspects that are in more than one federal file. The DEA, Department of Justice, the Indiana Attorney General's office. How about the Florida Attorney General office going after business partners of a now sitting prosecutor? In one case, did he have a FBI informant turned federal witness, turned living victim? You've got the Indiana State Police Miami Post, as well as the locals, not wanting a federal informant turned witness, turned living victim by the same killers. They're trying to set only two individuals to take the fall. Their family members, dealing. They don't want you to see their own actions, like another sitting prosecutor, business partner, more than one. But this certain individual, Daniel Metz, the Florida Attorney General office back in 2021, he was leaked information that they were coming for him. So he took his money laundering, the money that he gained down there with the same criminal network the DEA went after. He was leaked information, allowing him to take his money and come and open another, even better money laundering scheme. It helps when he's got prosecutors sitting business partners on more fake businesses up here, Howard and surrounding counties. It helps when you got elected officials, their own families doing, their own dabbing, the money laundering. How about their appraisal companies helping the Good Old Boys Club money laundering scheme, getting nice little cutbacks on appraising properties? They're scared if this cartel drug ring gets hit, there's political careers that are ruined. Those oath of offices they took will get them in federal deep crimes. But Director Wray, Indinapolis Field Office Director Stapleton, this video goes out to you and you alone. The federal lawsuits, I got the hard copies. Every text, every email, the recorded phone calls with me and your agent, Michael Curtis. The days after Karina McClurkin, me telling him, look at the suspects. Your agent is in writ days after Karina, wanting information on Flora, Delphi, Rushabille, Kokomo, and surrounding areas. The Sons of Odin issue that everybody thinks is a myth. How about the militia, the criminal drug ring, and suspects that Agent Michael Curtis knew and allowed a living victim to become from an informant turned federal witness when he did nothing but stop to help somebody? Selfless service on his way home. Unlike many that are sitting silent, like Derek German, they've went after it. They've killed within my own family as well. There's a murder hit not just sitting on me. Individuals that were involved in federal raids had my address, know where I live, plan to see me here soon. There's more than one agent outside of Indiana, and I'm 100% working with, that are seeing exactly that. The lies, disregard, and negligence by Michael Curtis cost lives, forcing me to go to other agencies and to prove that I was not misleading, withholding information, obstructing, knowing when I went to local and state other agencies, I'd have to talk about him and Baffy, our professional connections, everything I told him. Multiple agencies seen, including Indiana State Police, more than one post, including the headquarters. It's a damn shame when you got friends with third-party suspects that have been named, their militia group, going back to your own state troopers. One of them's a well-known name right there in Delphi and among other cases. That goes back for years. Back to other federal issues like federal armed standoffs, domestic terrorism suspects. Then how about the same Indiana State Trooper? The same areas of operation of the Kokomo cartel drug ring using in Texas, and the other side, in the Mexican side of the border, the exact location that there's individuals from Kokomo going down and picking people up at the border. That Kingpin family member and others, an ex-girlfriend of one of these members, gave me her information, the salon she works at, teaching. The Duke family? How about Chavez, Gonzalez, Espinosa's? All this, more than one federal agency knew. Hell, Richard Allen Ferguson, the school resource officer at the Flora and Delphi Girls School. He's in writ, knowing about the cartel drug rings. 2 safe houses right there in Delphi. How about who did he have to serve? No trespassing. No contact order. On who? Off the Delphi Carroll school system. All their properties. Wasn't allowed to come on. Why? The sexual harassment, just like a judge to a female employee at Carroll County school systems, was served by Richard. The same ones he's calling corrupt, he sets friends with. Classic blue protecting blue. But the truth's out. That's seen. Hell, this girls' school resource officer knew all about the cartel drug rings, the 2 safe houses, down to interaction. Old school cop pulled his gun on 2 cartel drug members of a safe house there in Delphi. Was bragging all about that. Small town cop in a dicked up world. He didn't take the girls' school resource officer job for the students, for the children's lives. He did it for the money. Look who he goes back to. Just like multiple, like mayors, elected officials. Hell, there's one running for Howard County Commissioner, among others. Friends with multiple individuals in federal raids. Dealers. The same drug ring that's ravaging families of children and adults alike. I've got 8 families that are going to the judicial committee beside me. These are the 8 people, the 4 kids, the 4 adults I got home. The multiple agencies, Indiana State Police, Charles Chuck Myers, Miami Post. How about Carroll County? Mullins, Hammond, they're opening a 3rd missing and murder investigation. Then there was another train bridge not far from where a certain individual lives right there in Cutler. Elected official. How about all the messages? I was pretty much getting coerced to going to this same now sheriff is known to shoot at, scare people, trespassers off. I feel like I was being set up to silence me, to hide the money laundering, the elected officials, the campaign contributions, your own friendships. Multiple dealers back in and around this drug ring. The same cartel drug ring. Why is dealers like Blaine McClellan? What are they doing, among others, on Liberty German's friends list? My community wall? You think I'm making that up? Look up as my case. 2014, dealing right beside Derek German. Back to guess what drug ring? Just like Nita Duff, William Duff. They're all friends with Derek. But what are dealers? Other individuals, like Harley Babcock? Known individuals in and around this cartel drug ring. Dustin Prater, being friends with like Tyler Joe French. Federal, 2018. Suspect picked up, dealing meth. The ties back to that cartel drug ring, left and right. How about Del Wood? It's 2021. Business as usual. Family business must be going on. The money has to keep coming in. How about the friendships in and around this cartel drug ring still remain? How about serial killers within this drug ring admitting they killed to protect this drug ring? This is why so many are scared to speak up. Because when the drugs, the meth, that drug ring, the truth comes out, is why multiple children, their lives are no longer here. Wasn't their involvement, their dealing, they're moving the drugs that cost them their lives. Now, was it? It's just a shame, Michael Curtis and the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, the same task force, both young and old alike, the exact time frame of multiple cases within the troubled community losing their lives here in Indiana over negligence, lies, disregard, knowing suspects, knowing they are a threat to life, and refusing to act. Your actions, your agency as a whole, the Joint Terrorism Task Force of Florida, the same task force as Indiana, the same time frame, back to back, made two promises they couldn't fulfill the first time. We knew intel, we refused to act. We're sorry it's not going to happen again after one mass shooting. Shortly thereafter, oops, the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, we had an investigation yet again on another suspect that went on to take multiple lives. It happened in Indiana. You thought Larry Nassar, his victims like me, speaking up on the suspects that are still to this day taking lives. I didn't ask to become a victim. I didn't ask for the lives to be taken within my own family. A murder hit down to a toddler right now as we speak still remains. The threat to my own life, the ones around me, still remains. It's fine. The trip to Washington, D.C., when these federal lawsuits hit, I'd go in front and speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The FBI Indianapolis field office, now under the directing orders of Herbert Stapleton, FBI Director Christopher Wray. I will be a man and sit in front of you and tell you the truth and the whole truth and the receipts that can back me up. If it takes the congressman behind me or woman behind me, both Republican and Democrat, to show you, look what you knew, the suspects. How about Ron Logan's property? Why you went after Ron Logan so fast? How about the third party suspects, the defense team? How about their training on said property? You were there, in person surveillance with months long texts, emails, recorded calls between me and your agent. The conversations I had with even Todd Click, you only wanted certain individuals. You started narrowing your eyesights and seeing, instead of seeing the wider picture, the ravaging of multiple lives by a criminal network federally known, barely acted upon. Well, there's more than one agent, like I said, outside of Indiana. Other agencies that decided to look, and there's a bigger issue about to come upon both of you two men. Your agents, your agencies, suspects that were sitting in BAPI files for years. Some even forced upon me, went on 96 days after Delphi to kill again. That suspect, I was supposed to get a illegal tattoo done at his roommate's apartment that he helped that same criminal network, federally known, take their life. Why? Because they found out they were a snitch. More than once, you allowed my life to nearly be taken, and I survived. I'm about to see you face to face, both of you, here very soon. Anybody that wants full justice for Flora, the Logansport, multiple cases in and around Indiana, all within the troubled community, Delphi, Karina, Kyra, Tanner Lawson, the list goes on. You really want to do something good? How about you contact the Judiciary Committee, just like these families of victims that are doing right beside me, that are be willing to take the stand, to stand in front of these directors, federally known suspects, individuals, groups that were allowed to take their lives of their family. Your agents, like Michael Curtis, then DEA, other agents and agencies. How about the Indianapolis Metro PD? Garland Odell Cooper, badge number 739. You've got IMPD, which is Indianapolis Metro PD. It's both the Sheriff's Office, Marion County, as well as the Indianapolis PD. They combined, admitting to multiple cases, the same criminal, network analysis showing back to Delphi, Karina, Flora, in writ, there is ties and connections. That same criminal network showing around cases down there at Jimmy Beasley, Tony Klein, CLINE, Mariah Coy, baby Amia Robertson, an 8-month-old. Both of her killers refused to give up where that child's body is sitting. But both IMPD, the FBI, has intelligence. They're friends. The cases they go back to, The network analysis, it's showing back to multiple cases within the troubled community. How about Brandy Bradley? Only partial burned remains were found, just like baby Mia Robertson. Where's the rest of their remains? Where are the remains? You want justice for cases like baby Mia Robertson? How about you stand up, let your voice be heard, and demand the full investigation on why the FBI and Field Service Agent Michael Curtis, if you do enough digging, you will see he was one of the first agents involved in Delphi. They admitted on record already in the Delphi documents the Joint Terrorism Task Force was on an investigation, in-person investigation by agents. Audio, video. One of those locations turned out to be where two little girls lost their lives. Suspects. The criminal network, like the militia group, certain named third-party suspects, we have the right, as we the people, to have our voices heard. There needs to be a special federal prosecutor looking both the RICO, the paid elected officials, the money laundering for the same network that is going on to killing, at times serial killing, multiple children's lives within the troubled community. An unbiased, not Indianapolis field office that have already shown time and time again when victims speak up, they refuse to act, like Larry Nasser, for years allowing him to go on sexual exploitation. It doesn't help when look up some of the same accusations of the sitting attorney general that refused to so much as act on Karina McClurkin's case. So could some of the accusations about them, certain mayors, like the Indianapolis mayor now, part of his own administration, just like Judge Fouts, a certain now sitting sheriff that was served no trespassing orders by Richard Allen Ferguson, the school resource officer in writ, who he served and why he was serving the papers. Just like a good old boys club fellow member, Curtis Fouts, among many, many more. The truth's coming to light. Like I said, you cannot fight. You cannot get justice with darkness, fighting darkness. The light is the only thing that will prevail and win. It's never been about what I can get, what has been about for what I can get, the amount what I can get, anything of that. It's about saving lives and an oath I swore to my people and my nation. When I was asked to see something, say something, I did exactly I was asked to do, up to becoming an informant to try to save lives. It wasn't the act of me not speaking up, seeing something, saying something, begging to be heard by more than one agency. But then you have agencies like Indiana State Police, Miami Post, the locals, trying to use my PTSD non-psychosis. I am a child sexual predator survivor for over 3 years of my life. It didn't help when you're hearing, if they see me, I'm as good as dead, and somebody crying and upset, scared for their life. Anytime you try to close your eyes at night, try to go to sleep, it's a living, breathing hell. And hearing your own voice, I promise I will not let anything happen to you tonight. I promise you on my life, I will not allow it. To come to find out, there is a jail visit, more than one, where one of the individuals that trafficked her up to losing her life, them and their friends becoming blood brothers and sisters, like you will see Blaine Nelson in conversations with me, calling Gabriel's daughters and sons his nieces and nephews. But then you have Tot Rubo letting the truth be known. He is of no blood relation to Gabrielis or his kin, his children, nor family. He is of no relation. So why was he calling after Karina McClurkin, admitting that he was there? He had no power. He had no control in anything that was going on. He was just there. Among other federal known individuals, each individual, down to the individuals that had to get a protective order against them that were involved in more than one murder, went on to serial kill right beside him and other suspects, down to the suspects on why my handler and the FBI was already up in Delphi. I've got every single hard copy, the texts, the emails, the recorded calls, down to the very first time I was asked. Delphi is in writ, Kokomo, other surrounding counties, cities, towns, this area only. And everybody that thinks the sun's Odin was some mythical, made up theory issue. The FBI had me looking into that, militia and drug ring. How about the motorcycle clubs like Milwaukee Iron, Mobile Ground Shakers? All the information I soaked in, the audio and video, me being wired inside your clubhouses, your own roles within that troubled community, the sex and drug trafficking. How about a Sin City member at your sister's own house? Oh, yeah, I caught that. How you got your collars back at Sin City? You had to take a exact amount of cash, run down to Andy, fill up your saddlebags with meth, and bring it back to get your collars back to join Sin City back. Oh, yeah. You openly saying that your sisters then went right back to the FBI, the DEA. You'll be surprised what they know. Multiple agencies, their drug task force, their negligence, allowing informants to turn witnesses, them making cases, sus- suspects that they are already known about, like a child sexual predator. How about his 2008? If you look up my case, it'd be out of Miami County. When isn't the Ag Resource Center on Prince 100? Yeah, Prince William Road and 100 South. The same Ag Resource, Toby Garth, was an acting manager, allowing his daughter, that cartel drug ring, and her friends access to the ammonia at his work. Bob Derrick, Dustin Prater, the ammonia theft. Derek German is silent. Why? If he talked, would it slip? The drugs, that drug ring, is why those girls, among other children, are no longer here with us today. How much money was made out of their appraisals for the Good Old Boys Club, inflating property values? More than one assessor being friends with more than one dealer in more than one federal raids. How about that? Wow. Then you've got dealers stalking a informant, turned federal witness, turned federal victim by some of their own under their command. The stalking, the intimidation, the harassment, the threats. It's about to be seen more nationally, internationally. Director Wray, Herbert Stapleton, your agency, your agents allowed multiple children lives to be taken, then not just one state, but multiple states, adults and children alike. That Joint Terrorism Task Force, it's not just involved with FBI. You've got Indiana State Police, other state police agencies, locals that are involved with that Joint Terrorism Task Force. It doesn't help when that same task force has individuals involved with that, their own actions. They're getting what they know and what they have access to, leaking it back to the same individuals. And how about the missing video, the missing interviews? Well, guess what I still have hard copies of? The access to the cellular data. Call my bluff. I'll be seeing here real soon in person. Not just me, but multiple victims that your agents allowed. These victims to become living victims. The lives lost within their families. And I don't care what side you sit on. You want to do something good, for the greater good, and the justice for multiple cases, you too can stand beside us and do the right thing. Individuals, before they come after you, you can pick up the phone call. One federal phone call. Spill everything you know on who, your role, their role. Is it worth spending the rest of your life in a federal prison where fellow terrorism suspects to your left and right are willing to gouge your eyes out? They're foreign terrorists. You think they won't mind Allah Akbar and getting another American, another uh, jihad for the non-believer? I face worse people than you that are sitting in those same exact prisons. These lawsuits, the bigger investigation, the much harder, deeper reaching RICO investigation, when a federal prosecutor gets involved in more than one case, it's a damn shame when you got defense teams on more than one case, them and their families going back to the same criminal network. You got the state and the defense side both. More than one case. Their own families dealing, still around the same criminal network. and you're expecting the individuals to get a proper and full and unbiased defense in case when both sides refuse to attack. Why? And why are they refusing to attack a certain drug ring? I wonder. Like I said, when the truth comes to light, I'm willing to call you out because I know what's behind me. I know what I have. I know what it can do. And I know what it can show. These cases did not have to happen. Many of these kids would still be alive